I'm here at the Highland Arena at Lindenwood University where 20 members of the Lindenwood table tennis team are qualifying for their national competition in singles and doubles.
The parking spaces in front of Parker Hall are no longer available for students, and the students we spoke with say they weren't given enough notice. I think many people would know about Matthew Perlman's success, but surprisingly, many of his friends and teachers have no idea that he has written 3 books. Standing on stage and sharing personal stories is a task for anyone, and Lindenwood Monologues' purpose is to begin that start of the healing process. Straight ahead on LUTV News, find out why this bridge behind me had an explosion. Making it to the Olympic trials is a career highlight for any athlete, and for one of Lindenwood University's table tennis team member is a dream come true. I'm Emily Miller for LUTV News. Let's take a look at a sport that not many people know about, coming up next. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Matthew Perlman, a student at Parkway North High School, proves this to be true. He began envisioning his passion when he was only 11 years old. Since then, he's published 3 books and a sports writing website, teensonsports.com.
When I was younger, I was always looking for something that I would be passionate for. I mean, at 11 years old, that's when I actually put everything into motion, and I started, I've been doing it ever since.
When Matthew was starting out, his new passion brought roadblocks. One of them was his age.
They first see me, they're like, oh, I was expecting, a 35-year-old reporter to interview me right now, but they allowed me to interview a hockey player named Brett Hull. And after I got that one big name, everything just kind of fell into place. I was able to get all these, celebrities, Kevin Durant, Usain Bolt. I'm amazed myself. It's been a remarkable journey.
Besides athletes, Perlman has interviewed people such as Nelly Furtado, Jason Mraz, and Nelly. His books are more to show people that anything is possible, no matter who you are.
You're not going to get anywhere without hard work. So when I interview someone, I like to tell their backstory, because not everyone automatically had that fame level. They started where, some of us are today.
You think many people would know about Matthew Perlman's success, but surprisingly, many of his friends and teachers have no idea that he has written 3 books. But he likes it that way.
This school, Parkway North, without people noticing me for everything I've done, because I just want people to know me for who I am.
Matthew's teacher, Dawn Newport, is inspired by Matthew's success. Newport says Perlman is quite humble about what he has accomplished.
I was absolutely amazed. I couldn't believe how somebody so young could be able to see so many people and get to know and interview people that I knew that were famous celebrities, and I was very impressed with that.
Hunter Ring, who has only known Matthew for only 8 months, says they really connected when they first met. He had no idea of his accomplishments.
In places that, I just dreamed of being, he really inspires people to, go out, shoot for what you want to do in your life.
The residents of Lindenwood University's Parker Hall have been receiving tickets after parking in an area that used to be available. Now, those parking spots have become a fire lane. A few residents of Parker Hall say they didn't get the notice and instead received a parking ticket.
I've been parking here for like 3.5 years, so it's kind of a force of habit, and I didn't really notice that the curb was painted yellow.
I live right in the front here, so I've watched cars get tickets day in, day out.
After a handful of students had received parking tickets, security put up signs and these white barriers. Tickets cost a staggering $75. The charge is for a typical fire lane amount. Students who receive tickets are able to protest.
Yeah, my reasoning was that after so long of parking there, I didn't really realize that they had painted the lines and there wasn't any signage out.
Head of security John Bowman says the parking changes began in January. Since then, he believes his office has issued around 20 to 30 tickets.
To be just a 10-minute parking, he had a red zone. But everybody violated the red zone, so we decided to just go ahead and make it no parking.
The plan to change the parking zone initiated from the Student Development Office. He says it was an effort to make the area less congested with traffic. With the barriers set up and signs now posted, students have to find somewhere else to park.
Well, that they think that they can park there, but if they would read their student handbook, it says anywhere where there's a yellow curb, you cannot park, because it's designated a fire lane.
Table tennis, or better known as ping pong, is one of the sports at Lindenwood University. This team has plenty of talent, as Austin Price was able to attend the Olympic trials in Greensboro, North Carolina.
At the Highland Arena at Lindenwood University, where 20 members of the Lindenwood table tennis team are qualifying for their national competition in singles and doubles.
trials was like an experience I'll never forget. It was very professional. There was an Olympic hotel, there was transportation from the airport. It was just overall an incredible experience, and just to even be able to be a part of the trials was something to remember.
The Olympic trials consist of 65 of the strongest table tennis athletes in the country. During the trials, the competitors range from 15 to 30 years old. Price has been playing table tennis since the age of 3. He learned from his father, who was a national coach at the Olympic Center in Colorado Springs.
It stood me on the table when I was just like an infant and told me how to bounce the ball on my paddle and hold the racket. And I've been playing ever since.
The ball speeds can reach up to 80 to 100 miles an hour and rotate at 300 revolutions per minute.
Table tennis ball, the amount of spin you get from a ball is about the amount of revolutions you would get from like a jet engine on an airplane.
Captain Gabriel Skolnick explains on how he prepares.
2 different ways to practice. You can practice with a whole bunch of balls, and one person just hits the balls in rapid succession and the other person just gets the ball on the table. Or you can use a single ball and then you just try and keep the ball on the table to build up consistency. Then you can also do like match simulations where you play matches and work on specific things during the match.
National women's champion Chelsea Edgehill from Guyana, South America explains on how it felt to get a scholarship.
Happy, and yeah, I was excited. It's a great experience, great players and good coach. Just to work hard and never give up.
The 80s theme was chosen because St. Charles Community College was born in 1986. This is actually the 25th running of a race here at St. Charles Community College. It's only the 3rd version of that 80s run. But because of just the scenic nature through Cottleville, the beautiful campus that St. Charles Community College has, it's the perfect setting for it.
Oh yeah, good job.
Last year we were given the opportunity to come on out here to that 80s run at St. Charles Community College to cheer everybody on. Honest to goodness, we were just kind of the host MCs, and we get them riled up in the beginning and we cheer them in when they come home.
You made it. Come on, girl. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, seeing people get their creativity on and, you know, let it all hang out in the right way. And also just seeing their faces when they cross the finish line and the recognition that I see you, you're coming, you accomplished something. MJ, all the big hair band music from the 80s. We're gonna rock out like crazy. I'm sure there'll be some Cindy, because there's tons of tutus running around. Winners in different age groups. And not only is it timed by like gender and all of that good stuff, but it's also the person that wins today is gonna get a scholarship to spend here at St. Louis Community College. This year I'm not 1,000% sure, but I know last year it was over $1,000.
Oh, we loved it. We love seeing the little signs along the way, reminding you of the historical events. So, and some of us noticing our birthday, some of us not noticing our birthday.
Okay, I think I have some 80s costumes since I was alive then.
Look at that.
It was fun. It was a really fun event. It made the actual running not too painful, to be honest, because of the music and the different costumes. I feel like I'm back in high school.
Coming up on LUTV News, the flooding around Greater St. Louis is over, but the help is still pouring in. See how federal funding is helping the relief effort. Plus, 3 jewelry stores were broken into in St. Peters. We'll tell you about the damage and whether or not police have any suspects in custody. Plus, President Obama invites the Canadian Prime Minister to talk about climate change. Those stories plus sports, weather, and more ahead on LUTV News. Welcome to this edition of LUTV News. I'm Emily Miller. This year's severe flooding may be over, but the cleanup continues. According to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, 2 more federal disaster assistant offices are opening to help repair damaged businesses and homes. The new locations are open in West Alton Community Center and Jefferson Park Visitor Center. $6.4 million have been distributed. Damage assessment applications have been received from nearly 2,400 households. Police are searching for thieves who burglarized burglarized 3 jewelry stores in St. Peters. The jewelry stores were robbed early Monday morning. The owner of Harris Jewelers said he believes the thieves scouted out and studied more the store because the expensive jewelry was stolen. The thefts occurred between 12 a.m. and 1:30 a.m. and each burglary used a brick to smash a window and jewelry case. All 3 stores have a surveillance video, but the thieves wore gloves and hoods, making it tough to identify them. No one is in custody at this time. Officials with the Environmental Protection Agency have options to deal with radioactive material. The Westlake landfill is located in Bridgeton. EPA officials met Monday with residents in the surrounding area. They gave them updates on the status of the landfill. The nuclear waste was buried at the landfill decades ago. It is a concern to residents because of the underground fire burning in an adjacent landfill. The Rams are facing a lawsuit after leaving for Los Angeles. Personal seat license holders are suing the Rams for the remaining value of their licenses. The suit says the owners of the licenses should be allowed season tickets throughout the 2024 season. According to the contract for the PSLs, the Rams can terminate at any time, and holders cannot sue. The suit against the Rams says the terms are misleading. This is at least the 3rd lawsuit against the Rams since they moved out of St. Louis. Trafficking prescriptions of pain medication is difficult. Now, a Missouri lawmaker has proposed a measure that could change that. The plan would track prescription drugs and let doctors know when similar drugs were prescribed. GOP Representative Holly Ryder put the program on the House debate calendar this week. Over 10 years, similar measures have failed in Missouri's General Assembly because of privacy concerns. The White House held a meeting that hasn't been done since 1997. The United States President Barack Obama welcomed Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to the White House on Thursday. The two discussed steps to take for climate changes. Perhaps the biggest to being cut was methane emissions from oil and gas operations in an effort to improve the development of green technologies. Trudeau's visit will be capped off on Thursday night with a dinner with Obama. St. Louis is part of a national project that will fill up urban vacant lots with trees. The city has thousands of vacant lots and land due to a decreasing population. St. Louis Mayor Francis Slay announced on Thursday that St. Louis will be working with Fresh Coast Capital on a $1 million project due to the turn of the vacant lot into tree farms. Kansas City, Missouri, Gary, Indiana, and Flint, Michigan are among other cities joining the project. Straight ahead on LUTV News. Recent events on the Mizzou campus will be impacting enrollment. I investigate the reason for the significant drop in Mizzou enrollment this semester.